Listening to that was Freddie Poser, director at PricedOut UK, the campaign for affordable houses. Good afternoon to you, Freddie.
Afternoon.
Any common ground there with Gavin Barwell?
Yeah, I think I agree with almost everything that he said. I think that this is at its heart a supply crisis. We haven't built enough homes in the last, pick a time period, 40 years, say. And we're seeing the result of that both in the rental and in the owner-occupier sectors. And we're seeing that in the southeast especially, but across the whole country. And the only way that this is going to be solved in the medium term is to see more houses built. Things like Help to Buy are really relatively ineffective sticking plasters on top of what is just a supply crisis.
And as Gavin Barwell was pointing out, that it Help to Buy does nothing to regulate the price of a home.
The price of a home here is set mostly just by supply and demand in really high demand areas like London. And there are lots of people who really want to live in, great cities like London and other cities across the country. And we haven't built the places for them to live.
But actually, there's plenty of people who don't want to live in London. What's the picture outside of London?
So the picture outside of the southeast is a little less at boiling point, but we're still seeing in some of the other cities that we're getting London-like scenarios, and they all have their own local issues for why they have it. Some are student towns, for example. Some are feeling the pressure of London's demand pushed out, and some are just really popular cities seeing large interest in people living there themselves. But all in all, this comes down to the same root cause: not enough places for the people who want to live there.
And Lord Barwell set out those three things that need to change in order to turbocharge this house building. Turbocharge it, get it started, really. If you look at how slow it's been. Why are we so bad at it?
Well, it's really tough. I think that a lot of former attempts have failed. I think recently we've seen attempts fail because they've often focused on this demand side. They've been things like Help to Buy. It's really expensive, we'll subsidise that. That just doesn't work. You're subsidising a scarce good that gets capitalised into prices and prices go up. You're shuffling around a scarce supply. And then in general with house building, it's a very politically charged question. There are real costs if someone tries to build a lot of houses near you. You are losing out on something. And we haven't yet found win-win solutions and solutions that allow communities to even want more housing near them. And I think we need to work on ways that will make housing more popular and make people realise that we need to build these houses if their children are ever going to have a chance of owning a home.
Labour is promising first-time buyers a comprehensive mortgage guarantee scheme and first option on new homes in their area. What does that prompt in you?
Again, that's more demand-side thinking. Labour have actually also, more interestingly, committed to trying to make progress on actually building 300,000 homes a year, and that's going to be much more impactful. A mortgage guarantee scheme,
which was the government's target, but it's essentially dropped its targets, hasn't it?
300,000 homes has been a target since 2004. We've never really met it. A target that you don't meet is meaningless. The government has dropped another form of house building target recently. We haven't seen anyone particularly committed to building these new homes. I am hopeful that Keir Starmer is showing some political leadership on this question, but the proof will be in the pudding and when we actually see what they're campaigning on, both at the local elections and the general election in a year or so.
Gavin Barwell's outlook was that this will take 30 years. So the generation that's hitting 30 now, and on average 33 is now the age of somebody buying their first property, there's nothing in it for them, is there?
I don't think that's true. It might take 30 years to completely get to a point where where things are much better, but actually every single home built is a step in the right direction. It's a home where people are living in. I mean, I think the way to think about these is a flat with people in it, that's someone's home. That's a safe place for them to be and live their life in. So I think that every extra home that's built, every year that we build 10,000 more homes than we did the year before, that is a step in the right direction. We're not going to solve it overnight, but we can do a lot better than we're doing now.
Thanks very much indeed, Freddie. Freddie Poser, Director at PricedOut UK.